Hey, welcome to the first ever Love Encompassed podcast. We are excited to finally get started and launched. And today's podcast is going to be super cool because we're just going to talk about how we actually came to be. Really, like together.
I like that, came to be. So we figured, what a better way or what better than to just kind of start the first podcast with like how we met and how, we
how you pursued me for so long and then I finally agreed. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Right, because that's exactly what happened. No.
So, just really quick, we've been married over 18 years. Mm-hmm. We have two great kids.
Mm-hmm. Young men, really, because they're 17 and 15.
Yeah, and we've just kind of built a great life together. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to talk to people about things we've learned on our way, what we've done, mistakes we've made, all of those things
areas
together.
We've grown in, individually and as a couple as well.
Yeah, and then also if you're single, this is going to be great for you too, because you can kind of learn before you get involved with somebody of kind of things that we've messed up on or we've made mistakes in.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about relationships in this podcast either. We are going to talk about life because life still happens whether you're married or not. And we're going to talk about family dynamic,
Yes,
so
for sure.
It's everything. So yes, it's what we've learned as far as in relationship wise as a couple. We were once single. And so how we kind of, operated in that space as well. But like I said, how we just handle life.
Yeah, so before we get into all of that over all these episodes and time together, but let's talk about how we actually met. How did this actually happen? Why did I say yes is the question.
We met at church.
Yes.
Which is very cliche for me because when I was single, I was like, ain't no way I'm going to meet who I'm supposed to marry at church, because at the time, the pool to choose from at said church was not deep. So I was like, and, it was predominantly, of my lighter people, Caucasian,
Right.
And so at the time I was not interested in dating outside my race. So I was just like, well, I ain't meeting him here.
Yeah. And really, I was serving at the church. You were serving at the church. And that's kind of how we initially met. And when we initially met, I wasn't a big fan.
That is true, which is so hard to believe.
Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm totally fine. And then the weird part about it is where we attended church at was about 45 minutes away. Mm-hmm. And we lived closer to each other. Mm-hmm. We were about 10 minutes. And I got tired of constantly driving by myself, and you were kind of like, what?
Well, yeah. I mean, so after we got past because he made it very much so evident that he was not interested in getting to know me as a person. And I wasn't interested, past getting to know him as a person, but then once I found out that he was his first initial meeting with me, or when we met, he was like, you kind of came off kind of rude, which I was like, what?
Which I stand by.
But, fast forward, we became really good friends. And as well as because I didn't see him in that way, because I was very much so anti being open to dating outside my race at the time.
I think you need to tell him your exact words that you used to say all the time.
I don't date white boys.
Right.
I don't do white boys.
And then as a joke.
Yes. And
as a joke, I would respond the entire time. Really, just as a joke, I would just respond and be like, well, if you ever change your mind, give me a call.
And I'd be like, I won't.
And so we were just friends. I mean, we had no thought of actually being together or anything. And so we just became friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like really best friends.
Yeah.
We talked.
Well, not to get too ahead, that started because he said he was going to call me one day for something. And so I gave him my phone number. And he called me and I didn't answer. So when he saw me again at church, he was like, hey, I called you, you didn't answer. And I was like, oh, people don't really call me like that. So I wasn't around my phone. And so he said, I'm going to call you every day. And I was like, okay, because people say stuff that they don't really follow through with. And you did. You called me every single day.
And that was not game. That was just me being nice.
Yeah.
That's really all
you
it
threw
was.
pity on me.
So I just called every day. We just talked every day.
Yeah. And
just about life, just about whatever.
Yeah.
And then we would ride together and just talk. And we were just best friends.
Yeah. We found out we lived close by. So, like you said, we'd ride home together. And I was like, this is one cool dude.
Because I am. And I was the same way. I was like, she was so easy to talk to. Didn't have to, there was no, I think the great thing about starting out as friends is we didn't have to put on anything. There wasn't like trying to be something that we weren't. We were just ourselves. And from that, it started to develop a little bit.
Yes. And so, because I used to tell him, like, he was someone that, like, even as friends wise, I had never met anyone like him before, even to this day. Never met anyone like him before. And I genuinely enjoyed being around him. And I genuinely enjoyed, like, I look forward to going to church, but I also look forward to, like, the ride home because of how much fun we had in the car and just how aware and how great of a listener you were. And then before I knew it, I was like, Victoria, are we catching feelings? Like,
and
what is this?
She was. It was the Boys to Men stuff that we would sing Boys to Men in the vehicle on the way home. We would sing Boys to Men together.
What song was that?
End of the Road.
Yes.
Ironically, that was our.
Yes.
We would sing.
Playing the music video, like in the car, like the whole.
Yeah. But again, we weren't trying to impress each other. We were just having fun.
Yeah.
Like that's what we love to do is have fun anyway. And then Victoria called me one night because she was catching feelings.
Well, here's the thing.
This is the part of the story.
Here's the thing, though, right? I was so confident that even though I was like, hey, I think I'm starting to crush on this dude, I was so confident that the crush was going to fade. Like, this lets you know, like, how close to friends we were. Because I was so confident that my crush was just like, not even that deep, that I told him. Like, we were talking on the phone, and I was just like, hey, like, this crazy, right? Like, I think I'm starting to crush on you. Like, that's crazy, right? And you were like...
And then I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? And you said...
I said, it's like a little 9.5.
9.5. That's pretty much a 10. That is pretty much 100% crushing on somebody. That's a 10.
It is. But again, I thought it was just like a fluke. Like, it's just going to fade. You like him because he's just cool peoples. This isn't going anywhere. So that's why I felt so comfortable in telling you.
And then, of course, I told her, I was like, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have feelings for you and everything else.
Why wouldn't he? I'm awesome.
So then... We won't tell you all the details in there, but basically we ended up getting together. We got engaged probably at the beginning of 2006.
Yeah, we were friends for a little over a year and a half, and then we started dating for a few months, and then we just kind of knew like this was it. So.
Yep. And so we got engaged at the beginning of 2006. We got married in July of 2006. And we started our life together from that point on.
Yeah. And it's been great. Obviously, there's been like learning curves that we've had and, ups and downs just because of what life throws at you.
Right.
But I can honestly say I'm grateful to be doing this life with you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun together. And that's really our whole family that's the way we are.
Yeah.
We do take things seriously, not a little too serious. Yeah. And we love to have fun.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait as we discover all this stuff in the podcast, as we talk through things in the podcast about insecurities in relationships and just all these different things. It's going to be so much fun to just
healing
walk
through trauma, because that's real. Like, we both kind of experienced that from childhood, right?
Yeah.
And just navigating through that once you're adults, and how do you navigate through that now you're in a relationship, and if and when that trauma shows up, like, how do you navigate through that? And how we navigated through that.
Yeah, and we want you guys to do this with us. So, share it, tell people about it. Go give a review, do all those things. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube that you're watching. Make sure that you subscribe on the podcast.
Yes.
The Love Encompassed podcast. And you
Yes.
can get it on Spotify. You can get it on Apple. All of those you can do.
As well as our Instagram page. we have that as well, which is Love Encompassed Podcast as well. But like you said, we just are really excited to start this journey in our lives to where, we can give, hopefully wisdom and encourage others like, okay, hope or whatever the case may be to grow.
Yeah. And, hopefully over the course of time, you'll learn to love it. And you can respond to us. We want to hear from you. So DM us even on Instagram and everything else. Let us know. Leave the comments, everything else. We read all of those. So if there's something you want to talk about, put it in there. And we'd love to talk about it.
And we did post something earlier in our feed on our social media page asking, hey, we want to hear from you. And we have received a lot of questions from people. We are 100% going to address those questions. And so, if you want to go to that post, and if you haven't already, and, ask some other questions or anything like that, we want to know, like, we hear you, we see you, and we're going to respond.
Yeah, unless it's about politics.
No, yeah.
Don't send us stuff about politics. That's a different podcast.
Yeah.
Go watch somebody else's stuff. We don't do politics.
Yeah.
So, well, we're excited. This is the first episode. It kicked off. Can't wait for so many more that we're going to have, and that we're going to be dropping how often? We're
going to be releasing a episode every Friday from here on out. So like he said, make sure you subscribe because, we definitely want to make sure that, you guys stay in the know.
Yeah, and you may get some bonus episodes in there as well. We may throw some of those in, just jump on here and just talk about stuff that comes up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did you mention the YouTube page? I wasn't listening. Was I not listening? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's one of the things about relationships is listening, that you have to listen.
There's so much going on. I'm like, let me make sure.
Yes, absolutely. YouTube, Instagram, all of those things. Join us. We're so grateful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being part of the very first one. Yay! Share this with whoever. Let them know, hey, it's coming, and this is kind of our story. And now moving forward, we can't wait to talk to you.
Yeah. See you then.